going on? It's your boy, Coach Croc, man, with Undefeated Sports. We coming at you once again with your updates on high school football and a little bit of college football. All right, man, we're going to try to do our best to keep you up on what's going on. Happy midweek to you, man, and this video is sponsored by L&J's Exterminating. Let's get to it. Let's jump into it. All right, last week was an interesting week in the playoffs, the game right before the state championship. Shout out to Logan Sport for winning. They'll be playing Homer this week. Logan Sport had a really good game last week against Oak Grove. Oak Grove's traditionally has a really tough team. Logan Sport was able to climb that hill, and they did a good job. Their quarterback, their running back, they make that team go. Well, Homer's not going to lay down. Homer's going to be a real good team. This is the 1 seed and the 2 seed. You couldn't ask for a better matchup in 1A football in Louisiana. Let's go to 2A. Now, that's the good one, y'all. This is the real good one. Manny against A-Meat. So you never really know what's going to happen when you get these type of battles. Let's take Manny. Manny's a Spitville team, a 4-star middle linebacker, plays quarterback, plays linebacker, plays kick return, punt return. Kid does it all. Coach Curtis is, I believe his son, he is an exceptional talent at that position. A-Meat is a spread team. I watched A-Meat last week, man. A-Meat played fantastic last week, which I was extremely impressed with. So that's going to be a good game, guys. I want you guys to really, because I'm thinking about that game and thinking about what I saw, and that's going to be a real interesting matchup to see what type of style ball prevails in that contest. Now, guys, I'm going to be honest with you. Jumping right, I had to go to 5A. Before I went to what I wanted to talk about last, I had to go right here to 5A football. Zachary and Ponchatoula's. I expected Destrehan to play Zachary last week a little bit tougher than what they did, because Destrehan is also a Splitville team, but it went to show. If you don't see it in practice, it's going to be tough trying to prepare for it on Friday, Saturday, Sunday. If you don't see it in practice, Destrehan does not see much of the spread like Zachary presents, and they got Easton over there, the quarterback, the Texas A&M commit, the 2 wide receivers that are just completely studs, real tall kids, real good kids. And Ponchatoula's the same thing. The #1 player pound for pound at his position, maybe in the country, definitely here in the state of Ponchatoula's the safety. He is a special kid. So you got Zachary, and you got who can throw it, Ponchatoula, who could cover and who could throw it. That's going to be a good matchup in 5A football. So here's the one I wanted to talk about. Guys, all year long, I've been telling you Warren Easton. Shout out to Carca's family over there. But shout out to Easton because Luke over there. You know, that's a purple night. So shout out to both of those programs, man, for doing an incredible job of preparing them. The call was questionable last week with Westgate against Ethnic Call, with kicking out the Tulane commit from Covington. I watched that game. I don't understand what he got ejected for. Guy pushed him in the head. He pushed him back. He was thrown out the game for throwing a punch. Rough, man, we gotta be a little bit more careful when you make those type of calls, or how it affect the championship game moving forward. Now Westgate quarterback that runs a 10-4. I heard the comparisons to Lamar. The kid is extremely fast. He was completely the difference maker in what happened between Westgate and Ethnico. They ran the zone read with him, some quarterback follow with him, and it was awesome to watch that little kid play. So guys, you guys got to really pay attention to the Westgate and Warren Easton matchup. That is one for the ages. Warren Easton wanted to play card. They wanted to earn it. They wanted to get their name in the city as being a new dominant program. Unfortunately, they're going to have to go through Westgate to get to where they want to go. Coach Bryce said last year Warren Easton was knocking at the door. It wouldn't be long before they got in. Coach, I guess they heard you. Now we got Sterlington and Union Parish and 3A guys. That's a district game. That's a district game. Those two teams played earlier, and Sterlington beat Union Parish. They still 1-2. And they still 1-2 in the state, so that's going to be Union Parish, made light of St. Martinville, and Coach Vince them had a fantastic season, and Sterlington beat Church Point like Church Point didn't have a team. That was interesting. Then we got E.D. White, and we have ULAB. That's too tough to pick, too tough to choose. That's going to be a really interesting game. That's going to be really two good teams. match. Now here we go. Southern Lab and Washington Christian. Washington Christian is traditionally a tough team. They always have been. We coached against them, played against them in Calvary, and they were always extremely, extremely, extremely tough guys. So you can know that and expect that out of that type of ball club. But Southern Lab gonna throw it around. They got receivers. They got receivers that's gonna throw the ball around, and they're not afraid. You know, they're not afraid to throw it with anybody. So Southern Labs will come in there. They're gonna definitely look to compete. They won it a few years back. They tried to take it from them, but that's neither here nor there. Those guys won that matchup on the field. All right, guys. Now we're gonna get to all the fun stuff. Now we're gonna jump over here to college. As we all know, Brian Kelly is now, he's now the head coach of LSU. We've got my man from Texas Tech. He's now the Louisiana Tech coach. Shout out to the homie Eric Dooley for being back to the bluff, back to the state. Recruiting will get back to how it was in Louisiana for everybody. For Frank, with Dooley, and you'll see which way Grambling goes with that. We got an idea. We'll see what Grambling does with their hire, but they're going to really have to compete. And let me just talk about this with Coach Odoms. Coach Odoms was apparently a nice guy at Southern. You started recruiting Florida and all these other places, and you left Louisiana out of the mix in terms of recruiting. I think with the transfer portal, I think with Louisiana, the entire Louisiana, not just South Louisiana, you went other places to get playmakers, but when Louisiana kids walked on, joined your program, they were difference makers. All right? So I want you guys to really think about that in terms of what I'm saying. All right, so let's dive in. I'm going to do shout-outs, okay? Shout out to Frank Wilson, back at LSU. Shout out to Mickey Joseph at Nebraska. Shout out to Borja Lute at Florida. Shout out to Cortez at Georgia. Shout out to Dot at Grambling on graduating, finishing up on your masters. Shout out to Jamal Washington, graduating, working on your masters. Those are former Peabody Warhorses. Now my high school kids. Shout out to Noah Bouye, the 6'2.5" middle linebacker from Lancaster. Recruiting has really picked up on him. Oklahoma, Arkansas, all these people have showed major interest in him. Vanderbilt have showed major interest in him. And obviously the offers have picked up for him. He's looking to he'll be doing track. He's looking to beat up more offers in the spring, as he should. He finished unanimously as the all-district selection. There goes to Cyrus Allen, his family member, as well as mine. Cyrus, shout out to Louisiana Tech, man, and go and play receiver over there. He's going to do amazing things. He's representing Walker, Louisiana, Landry Walker, Messiah, the young gun at Lancaster, Tyrone Crockett at Broswell, Anthony Hill at Denton Ryan, the #1 rated outside linebacker in the country. Great family, good kid, man. Just everything you expect in a ball player. So before I jump into LSU, let me talk about Joe Brady. I know people are saying they want him back. I don't want him back. I think that they need to move. First of all, Coach Kelly's a smart enough man with the people he's let go and brought in. I think he's putting all the pieces around him to help him be successful because he's now the present representation of Tiger football. So you got to bring, to some degree, you're going to keep some people, but you got to bring in your people. Now, before we get really off into it, shout out to Corey Raymond. He'll be joining Jabbar Jalute at the University of Florida. I need everybody to understand, man, they love Corey. Corey was essential, very vital in terms of becoming a new recruiting coordinator. But let's keep in mind, Frank Wilson was the one who gave him the game in terms of recruiting and helped him establish relationships here in the state of Louisiana. Tommy Robinson was the former running back coach at LSU who pulled Strumer's running back, and he pulled Lake Charles College Prep. So we need to put the fence back around Louisiana, get both of those guys back over here, and I'm sure Frank and Coach Kelly and supporting staff will do what they need to do. Coach Kelly actually just left Lafayette Christian Academy down there recruiting, talking to their DB, trying to get that DB to commit because the tackle's already committed. Now, since we're on commits, guys, I want to explain something to you. Everyone's freaking out about the transfer portal and people leaving. Guys, you just don't know. Sometimes when new coaches come in, if you're not a part of what they want and you're not buying in, then you're seeing transfer portal and guys decommitting because Coach Kelly and staff has reached out and told him, you may not be a plan of what, you may not be in the plan of what we plan on doing. So I'm not shocked. Oh, we lose 7 people. When I say we, mean the state of Louisiana, and our only Power 5 school that represents Louisiana as of now. So that's not a shocker. I promise you they will fulfill the scholarship obligation, the number that the NCAA grants. Guys, quarterback-wise, don't think they're not going to the transfer portal. They're going to look to the transfer portal. People like Caleb Williams supposed to be going to USC. They're going to look there. We're looking too much to thinking we're losing so much that we're going to rely on high school. Shout out to Brock at Louisiana Tech. Brock, you're doing a wonderful job, coach, man. Keep doing what you're doing. You're one of the up-and-young coaches on the scene. Man, we proud of you in New Orleans, bro. He's a former Carl Cougar, man, and he's doing exciting things. So I'm really watching his future, man. And the sky's the limit on. Sky's great with kids, great with parents, great with coaches. He just has that personality about him, and he'll be amazing in the coaching world. Now, Carolina Panthers, thank you for keeping Cam, letting Joe go, and realize that Joe wasn't best for Cam. Cam is the ticket draw. Joe Brady was the ticket draw coming up the national championship. Cam putting the butts back in the seats. Carolina lost. He wasn't calling the plays to make them successful. And Christian McCaffrey, this will be his 4th year. He has not played a full season. He has not played a full season. Christian hasn't. So, but this is what I want to talk about. Besides Kelly and Wilson versus Saban, to keep the fence around Louisiana and go get whatever else you need. Coach Wilson has established other resources. Kelly is another resource. They'll bring it together, and we'll figure it out, and we'll be successful. But Texas, the University of Texas, just with the NIL rule, offered $50,000 to anybody, to the kid that comes plays offensive line. If you start for the University of Texas, you'll be given $100,000 per year while at the University of Texas. That's huge. They will compete. Ohio State will compete. Alabama will compete with that. And just for everybody that don't know, Bryce Young, the quarterback at Alabama, did make $1 million this year. For people who don't know, him and the Oregon guy, the Oregon wide receiver, those guys got paid $1 million in college football. So the $100,000 seems like a lot with the NIL rule, but those guys were already millionaires. All right, so let's not even be shocked. But Texas started it. Now, I say that to say this here. Man, I respect and love, congratulations to Coach Deion Sanders on winning the SWAC. But what that just did is, those guys who had an opportunity to transfer or leave with the NIL deal and being able to hook it, you made it a little bit more challenging for the SWAC. You made it more, to land the top recruit in the nation, to host him, is hard when you can get an NIL deal with a Power 5 school, a Power 5 schools with different amenities. And we see Master P pull this kid because of healthcare reasons at Tennessee State. So that made it hard. And we real here at Undefeated Sports. We real here, and being honest, that's gonna make it real tough. He will get what he get, but the gap that everybody's seen was the race just separated itself again with that move what Coach Sanders just put out. Guys, it's gonna be an interesting state championship with the teams that are in there. I'm still going with Warren Easton. I'm still pulling for Manning, right? And I'm still going for Logansport. And I'm still going for Southern Lab. And I'm still going for U-High. Those are my picks. One of the guys who Lawrence Keys, who transferred from Notre Dame, will be at Tulane. Shout out to Dags at McDonald 35. That'll be big. Tulane did some good. They did some good recruiting as well. Tech is hitting the streets, recruiting as well. If you got a kid that's out there that's working, man, tell him keep working hard. It's track season. From a multi-sport athlete, you go out there and you bust your butt, man. You give it all you got, and you work hard. For the coaches out there, aspiring coaches, Peabody was interviewing for job openings. That's something that somebody that's looking aspiring to be a first-time coach. that's ready to put the boots on the ground and get the running. Will be a great job opportunity for you, bring in the supporting staff. Last but not least, why it's on my heart, if I hear one more person tell me about any school recruiting, from Duncanville to Brother Martin, to Jesuit, to Edna, everybody, to teachers, to principals, everybody, teachers recruit the best students, principals recruit the best teachers, right? The school district wants the best leadership in their schools, so that, and then the leadership wants other micro leaders in the school, so everybody's recruiting. When you a job interview, job recruiters, everybody recruits. So this false narrative, when West Monroe picked, or when Ash coach and stuff, man, you got to go out there and sell your program. If you got a junior high, sell it. If you got a high school, sell it. Tell me why, as a parent, why is my school, my kid runs track. My kids run track. They told me why the schools were good fits for my kids, academically and athletically. We made a choice what's best for our kids, and we move forward. That's good parenting. That's what you're supposed to do. You're supposed to make the right decision for you, your family, and your future, as best as you know how. So when everybody keep talking about certain programs recruit, well, recruit them back. If you're losing kids at certain high schools, do what you need to do to convince them that your district is the place where your kids need to attend. If it's a certain type of behavior going on at school, I know you don't want your kids in that environment. I get it. As a parent, I wouldn't either. But I had to touch on that thing about recruiting. I don't never want to, man, when they lost the game because they recruit. Nah, man, they lost the game because you didn't have enough athletes, or you didn't have better coaching, or it was just their night to be better than you. But stop all this negative stuff about people recruiting, because you do it too. You just haven't done it as well as they have, and that's it. But you're attempting to do it like they're doing it. I hope that makes sense to somebody out there, man. This is your boy, Coach Croc with Undefeated Sports. I love you. Like, share, and subscribe. Email us. Reach out. We got so many topics. We talk to so many different people, man. And there's so many different people that input to the information that we present to you, man. I mean, consistently. My friends in that, all throughout the states, from Texas to Louisiana, Mississippi, everybody feeds into what we do, and we couldn't do it without them. And whenever something breaks, they let us know. We try to get it to you guys. For the listeners who don't always have information to what's going on, I'll be looking forward to what all the state teams do. Grambling on your hire, Coach Kelly on what you continue to do, Louisiana Tech on who you continue to keep. I'm just excited about the changes in Louisiana. McNeese, how you'll replace Coach Wilson over at McNeese, who will get promoted. So I'm excited about that, man, and you should be too. Again, it's your boy, Coach Croc with Undefeated Sports. Man, we out. We love y'all. Like, share, and subscribe. 1.